Words are useful for their purpose, but they are no substitute for brains.
All right, here we go.
I have to say, well done, Ray. Well done. Well played, my adversary. Well played.
Phoenix isn't gay, but if he was, he'd pick Fremo.
Oh yeah, he'd be living down there with you in the bunker, man. Woo!
Once you go free, you always do the Z.
Like one day of not going to Duncan, and you could get a controller, a new Xbox, possibly even a cord.
And now, the guys that went on a beer run for 2 years.
Welcome to BGFG episode 491. I'm your host, Chris Phoenix, and joining me as always, my brother from another mother, from the Appalachians, Mr. Fremo, ZZ. Went a little extra, sorry.
I mean, how do I follow with that? I mean, I can't.
How are you doing this week, sir?
I'm doing very well.
Oh, it has been a good week, gotta say.
Yeah. I was about to ask, how are you?
I'm doing great. We can't do this the whole show. I'm doing great. I
agree.
I dropped 26 pounds, feeling good. I think I'm actually going to go ahead. Yeah, down 26. I think I'm going to go ahead.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the plunge and actually do the slow.
Would you change your Depends? Is that how you dropped 26 pounds?
Yes. Yeah. They can hold a lot. I mean, they can hold a lot at my age. They got tinsel strength.
Depends.
What?
It's the best thing that ever happened to college football season was Depends. Slap a pair on. You ain't got to move all day.
Yeah, I can see how that could work. Really. I think I'm gonna take the plunge and start coloring my hair too. Do the slow color because it's gray. Like I kind of noticed the other day in the bathroom. I'm like, damn. Like I'm starting to look like Gandalf. Like I don't want that.
Well, I mean, I got a little bit coming in.
Yeah, you got a little bit. I got a lot. Like I'm white.
Mean,
your hair, don't even bother. Don't even take off the hat. Yeah, you don't have a gray strand of gray in that hair.
There's one in there.
Shut the hell up. That's the way I looked like 7 years ago.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Were you talking about how lovely my hair is?
Yes, I was. It's
luscious, full.
That's the wording I was using for sure.
Yeah.
So one of the first things I want to bring
Luminous.
one of the first things I wanted to bring up this week was that a comedian passed away. We didn't put it in the show for not coming down for breakfast because I was unsure as to how many even Gen Xers would remember who this actress was. It was Ruth Buzzy.
Ooh.
Right.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, like 88 years old. And she's been active like completely. Like nothing slipped with her. But a lot of even Gen Xers aren't going to remember her because she was from like Laughing. A lot of us like comedy connoisseurs would watch that stuff over and over again because it was just classic comedy. She was known for wearing all brown, hairnet, and hitting another guy with a bag, if that, reminds anybody. But 88 years young, God rest her soul, and here's a golden ticket and towel.
I missed that.
Yeah, it was quick. Nobody really talked about it. It was weird. And this is why I said that, because Ruth Buzzy should get more notoriety. But let's get into this week's news, because it's a large show, and I'm kind of looking forward to the last segment this week.
BGFG News. You heard it here third.
So first up in this week's news, Comcast apparently says that they are not winning. I didn't know if they got the memo. But the Comcast...
It took them a minute, but they finally read it.
Comcast and Cox, or Xfinity and Cox, have both been struggling, and we've all known this. Like, it wasn't even a question. Like, as soon as streaming took off, everyone's like, well, only going to need the cable company.
Some dude retired after like 60 years, right? He cleans out his desk. He leaves the office. Next guy's coming in. Oh, great, I get this off this. And he's opening the drawers up, and there's like this one piece of paper crammed in the back of the bottom drawer. Pulls it out. It's like a memo from Comcast CEO. Oh, yeah, we didn't make those changes. No wonder we're doing bad.
I mean,
2003.
I can tell you from working for the cable company, a lot of their money is tied up in the sports stuff. MLB and NFL requires so much ridiculous amounts of money to
Yeah.
carry them, and that was their claim to fame for the whole time. I remember in the early days of paying my own bills, I guess you could say, where you could get the NFL season multiplexed for X amount of dollars. And I think even then, maybe 15, 20 years ago, it was like an extra $100, $115 to get the season of NFL and have every single game on every single channel, except for your local team. And
Well,
that's
they
understandable.
couldn't believe back in the day, 2 houses ago,
Oh,
like
wow.
way back, like when we first started hanging
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah.
And you remember I had the Comcast business class
Yes.
at the house, and everybody wanted me to host because
Yes.
I had that.
Yep.
They couldn't believe then that I didn't want the TV. I'm like,
Right.
no, I just want internet. That's it. I don't need your TV package. Don't
Yeah.
want it. Don't watch TV. Don't care.
Well, now you have, and this comes as no surprise because now you have companies like YouTube has their TV option. And the key to this isn't just the TV. I mean, any one of these companies, a good example is Discovery. Discovery has a large amount of channels under their belt. And what those do is they'll sell you that package. Now, anybody can have that package. Like anybody. You can have um YouTube can buy that Discovery package. Hulu can buy that Discovery package. Anybody can buy that package. So there's really nothing there.
Yeah.
But where it comes, I think, really comes into play is the local channels. So with the local channels, YouTube has a TV function that you can add local channels. Hulu has one that I have that has the local channels. Very handy, well laid out. I think, and out of all the ones that the wife and I
But you
tried
get a
from,
digital. All you gotta do is get a digital antenna.
right, I know, and you can get the local. I get that.
You get all your local stuff with that. Doesn't cost you a dime.
I understand that. It's for us, it's a convenience. But back to what I was saying, you have all of these different options that you can have. We've tried the PlayStation 4 version way back, YouTube, Sling, all of those. I still feel, and we've talked about it in the past, I still feel that Hulu's the best choice right now, but the prices are going up. All of them are going up because they're starting to see everybody drop down from cable, just taking the internet service from the cable provider and utilizing these other channels. Now, I will admit that it's nice. I can get slightly more channels than I would in an off-air antenna in my particular area. But again, it's the price that's coming up to play.
I mean, I've got a Samsung TV in the bedroom, right?
Yeah.
And it comes with a crap ton of channels.
Oh yeah, yeah. The free channels,
I
Boo
mean,
Boo. There's a bunch.
it's ridiculous. But anyway,
I just feel that it's a good option, but again, the wife and I are rethinking it because now that Hulu plus local channels is getting up there. It's getting to almost the same amount as cable, if not more, in some areas. And I know several people, which hasn't always been a Gen X thing. You know, we'll buy something and stick with it until we don't want to stick with it anymore. But I'm learning a lot from my kids on this one. A lot of them are like, "Hey, I want to watch. I want to watch." Well, Raw's a bad example because we're wrestling fans and we watch Netflix. But let's say somebody wants to watch Andor. So they're going to go get Disney until they watch Andor. When they're done with Andor, they're going to get rid of Disney and go back to whatever else they want, whatever basic package.
yeah, I was
like
going to
Hulu.
say it's not uncommon for us to just suspend a service
Yeah, exactly.
for like a month or two because you sit there and you scroll through for 30 minutes and you've seen everything they have right now. It's like, okay, and just suspend that one.
One of my favorite podcasts.
At some point, reactivate and see what's going on. Run that one for 30 days.
That's correct. One of my favorite podcasting pundits, Andy Anako from Boston, he will actually buy a subscription to, like, say, Netflix for a month. Look out all the stuff that he wants to watch, like in the first couple of days, and then he runs through them. And then when he's done, he just backs out. and waits till there's something else that's interesting. But in Q1 of 2025, customer loss was over 3 times as much as Q1 in 2024 for Comcast. That is a gigantic loss. 3 times the amount of customers left. Their competition right now is basically cellular, which is your T-Mobile stuff, which I'm sorry, but people got to really realize how that shit works. That is working off the cellular broadband. So if people are on the phone a lot for something, your shit's going lower. It's just the way it is. And fiber options, like what Fremo has, which we'll talk about later on the show. The fiber options getting big. And I just sat down with a friend of mine from the cable times that I trained originally. He just retired. He was older than me, but I had to train him when he first got the job. And he was telling me some stuff about how they're leasing fiber and they're actually cutting back their workforce because fiber is so redundant and easy once it's fixed, once it's proper. You know, it's either there or it's not there. There's no gray area. There's no water in the line. It's fiber. It's light. But they still, Comcast.
Yeah, unless the line gets damaged, and that's if they're running it underground, you're golden forever. Until someone decides to dig a trench and doesn't know what they're doing.
Well, Sally was fixing the flower bed. Anyway, but they don't get it mixed up though. Comcast is not going out of business anytime soon. They still have 29 billion subscribers.
Yeah.
And they said their top priority is to make changes in marketing and operations. And I quote, simplifying our pricing construct to make a price to value proposition clearer to the consumers. They also announced that a 5-year lock-in price. But at the same time, they said that there'll be a plan that will also not have a contract. And this is great. This is so Comcast. Meaning you can cancel your contract at any time with no penalty, unlike now where you kind of sign a 2-year contract for a deal for a price. But yet when you read into this article a little bit more, it says new customers only, which is always the best catchphrase. You're only going to get this price if you're a new customer only. Taxes and fees are extra. And the best part is the fine print. They even added, quote, subject to change for the 5-year agreement. So you're selling me on a 5-year agreement with your cable company that I'm going to lock in a price. I'm going to lock it in. Awesome. That's great.
That can change at any time if they decide to.
It's subject to change. Yeah, that's bullshit. Did anyone in the C-suite read this contract at all before they rolled it out?
Yeah. Yeah. That's who do you think added the subject to change part?
And you know what the best part about this whole thing
That
was?
guy, he's like reads through it and he goes, hey, we're missing a phrase here. It's been in our contracts forever. Subject to change. That needs to go back in.
Gotta have that. You know what you didn't hear in this or read?
Not messing with my parachute.
You know what you didn't read in this contract at all? At all? Lowering prices.
Yeah.
No, can't do that. Can't do that. Or the one thing, you know what could save the cable companies? And I can tell you from working there, one thing that will save the cable companies that I have heard for literally 20 years, a la carte pricing. Pay for the channels you want. Whether it's 10 channels, 20 channels, 30 channels, pay for the channels that you want. They will never do that. And that is literally, look, people, Fremo and I told you how to save GameStop. You didn't listen. We're telling you how to save the cable companies by doing a la carte cable services. And I don't mean your stupid fucking high tier, medium tier, low tier packages. That's bullshit.
No. Here's a list of 300 channels we offer. You're paying for 10 of them. Click the 10 that you want to view. Boom, 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 boom. Halfway through the day, I don't need this one anymore. I'm taking it out of the list and I'm adding that one because my show's coming on.
And I'll even take a step farther because I don't think they'll ever do that. But what I'll do is I'll say
that would be it though. That'd be the way to do it.
I don't necessarily agree. I think that if they do a 10 channel tier, but you have to lock it in, that's where they're going to make their money. Lock that into a contract.
For 30 days. Here's your 10 channels for 30 days.
I don't know about 30 days. Maybe a year. I would say a year. A year would be fine. But you have to jump up. So if you want 11 channels, you're going to jump up to the 20 channel tier. Like, I think that's where they're going to make their money. But the sad thing is,
you add a channel for $2.50 a month or $5 a month or whatever.
Sure. I just think they're never going to do that. Like I said before, because you have companies like Discovery. You have companies like Disney. They're going to charge you for a package and that package only. That's what their accountants say we have to do. That's what they have to do. So, anyway, moving on.
I
We
really
got
don't care if Comcast makes it or not. I still owe them money.
to.
When I moved,
never
and they're
getting
like, when I moved up here, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm moving to this address. I need it, and they're like, oh, we don't service that area. I'm like, okay, well then, I guess we need to terminate the contract because they're like, no, 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 no. I'm like, look, I'm caught up right now. Let's just end this contract now, And they're like, no, 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 you got to pay out your contract. I'm like, okay,
Not a problem. Send the bill to my address.
yeah. What's the new address? Oh, I don't have one yet. I thought you said you were moving. Yeah, it doesn't have a street address yet.
Yeah, don't.
Just a raw piece of property.
Ironically, he's not lying, people. He didn't have an address for a little while when he moved into the new property.
I loved it, man. I love it. Was a pain in the butt getting all that set up to where the post office had somewhere to deliver stuff to, and
Yeah.
everybody else. But I literally loved being out here for those 4 or 5 months with no street address. It was just
Nothing. Nobody's coming at
having
you.
to pull permits. It's like, yeah, well, where are you? Good luck finding me.
So we have to cover at least one breach story, and this week it's Hertz rental cars. They've been
Ooh,
breached.
That sounds painful.
It hurts. They got your personal information and driver's licenses.
It'd have been funnier if you hadn't explained it.
So this is Hertz rental cars, but it also covers dollar rental and thrift rentals because they're all under the same Hertz logo. The full breach is bigger though than what they put out there. It's not just names and licenses. It's names, date of birth, contact information, your license, and payment info. So it's not just a little tiny one. And some customers had their social security numbers compromised as well, which I don't know where that came from or how, but that's a real painful piece. And here's the best part.
That one right there, it completes what you need for a fake identity.
Yes, it does.
Social, date of birth, driver's license number. Hey, I got my wallet stolen.
Yep.
Here's let me get a new photo ID with my face on it. Somebody else's name.
And again, the problem still rears its ugly head. The breach comes from one of their vendors, not from Hertz itself, but one of their vendors. So when are we going to learn to not use vendors anymore? Maybe hire more people in-house. My company just had another round of layoffs for customer support.
It'll go full circle. I mean, 30 years ago, the majority of your business was dummy terminals, right?
Yeah.
You had Unix servers, you had dummy terminals that connected back to it. And then everything goes to a physical desktop, laptop, and now everything's moving back into the cloud, which is just the latest iteration of having dummy terminals, right? I mean,
yeah.
Anybody at my work can sit down at any computer and log into it with their credentials, and all their stuff's there because it's actually sitting in the at the servers.
Exactly.
And it'll be the same thing with this. Everybody, they've outsourced, and then this kind of stuff is happening, and it's going to hit a tipping point where corporate America is going to say, hey, you know what? These identity theft things that we have to pay for 1 million people 6 times a year is happening.
Yeah.
We're bringing this back in house.
Exactly.
We're not going to outsource this anymore.
You're going to be able to create jobs. You're going to have tighter security. Look, we here at BGFG, we solve problems, okay? We sometimes create them, but most of the time we try to solve your problems for you. And it's a shame that we're just poor folk. It's just lower middle class. Just, it's a shame. But
are you kidding me? I aspire to lower middle class.
this
Actually,
is just.
I'm totally fine with living a very low tech private existence.
Oh,
I'm fine with it.
I've told the family already.
I don't need all the bells and whistles. Half the stuff that we have, technology wise, is because somebody else in the house wants it.
Oh, I told them I like being like on top of things, but I told the whole family that once I retire, like almost all of the computers and gone.
Yeah.
I just simply don't want it. But again, like Fremo said, it'll create jobs. It'll tighten up security. You'll probably save a shit ton of money on your lawsuits.
Yeah.
And speaking of money,
Yeah, right now, the people making money are the ones that offer identity protection
oh God, don't even
because
start.
they're getting paid hand over fist by corporations to run that for all the people with their data breaches.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, just like crypto is. We told you here on the show before. Remo and I talked extensively, and every once in a while it creeps up. The most recent one was the story about the crypto mining bank that got hacked. I mean, that's a crypto bank. Well, I'd like to think right now crypto is officially done. Are you surprised, Free?
No,
Not even a little?
not even a little.
Maybe a smidge.
Nope.
Nothing.
I will
Bitcoin,
say I'm sorry. Well, we'll get into that in a minute.
Bitcoin's current price is $94,703 when I wrote the show up. But it costs you around $130,000 in North America to create a Bitcoin. You're already losing money. Some small and large mining groups still do it because that's what they do, and they'll rent a warehouse. They'll fill it with I couldn't remember this name when I was writing the show either. What are the little cages called? Remember the cages that we test stuff with for computers? The little tiny cage. It's not a computer case, but it's a cage. Test bed.
Yeah.
So, you just grab a test bed, and I've seen them. In fact, my wife one time goes, "What is this?" It was a Craigslist. I said, "That's a Bitcoining, that's a mining rig." And it just had like 7 or 8 slots for video cards. And that's what they do. They buy the high-end video cards. They run them at full capacity. So again, people, as a side note, if you think you're getting a deal on a 40 series or 50 series, not even 50 yet, but a 40 series card online, don't buy it. There's a very good possibility it was used for mining, and that card is half dead already. It's just stressed all out.
Yeah,
Um,
the largest mining companies spend over $82,000 to make 94.
and they're
So
they're
they're
efficient.
making a net gain of $12,000.
Yeah.
But how often are they making that net gain?
Right. Right. It's just Iraq. Is it Iraq? I think it's either Iraq or Iran. Just recently put a stop to all mining because it was costing their electrical system too much money. And now you're having these small and large mining groups, like Fremo said, that are the most efficient at doing it. We reported one time, I believe, that there was a company that took a water mill next to a river and used that power of the mill itself to run the crypto mining facility, which is smart. But at the same time, it's like, well, how much are you making? Because you're hoping that the Bitcoin suddenly skyrockets, or Ethereum, or whatever crypto you want. And it's going to be even tougher now because the current administration just shut down the cryptocurrency fraud unit. It was the arm of the Justice Department, and they're doing that effective immediately. U.S. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said, quote, "We are going to end the regulation weaponization against digital assets," unquote. As much as we complain here in the show, Free, you got to admit, this sucks for the people, just the normal everyday folk that invested in this as an investment, as part of their portfolio. This is
I
bullshit.
feel sorry for RazzleCon. If they'd have just waited a couple years, they wouldn't have gotten in trouble.
Oh, that was good. RazzleCon, you dug that one out. Well done, Free. Well done. So, as much as we complain about cryptocurrency, this sucks for the legitimate investors that have this as part of their portfolio because now there's no regulation. It doesn't matter if they get robbed. Nobody's going to care. The administration doesn't give a shit. Knowing that, and there's nothing they can do about it. But if the bottom drops out, let's just look at the positive. If the bottom drops out, you're going to be able to buy some Bitcoin real cheap. Real cheap. Which is going to be fun. Man, look at that light behind me. My light, I'm like doing a disco light back here. One of my lights just keeps flickering on and off.
I just had a package delivered. This is what was in it.
Oh, send it back. It looks like it's
Send
not
it
done
back.
yet. Looks like it's not finished yet. Got to grow more. All right, we're going to get on to this week's song, this week's music. And I am proud this week that this week's music is going to be from a band called Bad Company. You might not have heard of it, some of you younger folk that listen, but Bad Company is a mainstay. You've heard their songs. You have heard definitely their top 3 or 4 songs. You have in some way, shape, or form. But one of the injustices of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, of many, is that Bad Company is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for some ungodly reason. Even other musicians that have been in the Hall of Fame has said, what the hell, when you putting Bad Company in here? Because we wanted to play music because of Bad Company. So this is going to
Did you
be...
see where Chuck Berry's going to get into, finally?
Oh, finally. I didn't even see that. About time.
Yeah.
Chuck Berry, people. Chuck Berry wasn't in the Hall of Fame. Are you serious right now? ABBA
He's going to
gets
be
into the Hall of
inducted.
Fame.
He's going to be inducted in 2025, and he's still complaining.
Good for him, though. Why not? I would.
Yeah.
Why not? You let ABBA in, but you don't have Bad Company. I do believe... I don't want to say it for sure.
I mean,
Bad
Chuck
Company,
Berry literally has the #1 song of all time.
yeah, and created, that
A whole
rocket, yeah, oh
genre of music.
yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do Bad Company, and the song's name is Bad Company, which kind of was their premiere one. But also in the show notes, you're gonna be able to link to, I think one of their, I don't want to say better song because I had a hard time choosing, so I put the second link in there, which is their song Shooting Star. It's like a 7-minute song. It tells a story. Very, very good. But this week I wanted to go with Bad Company's Bad Company because it really kind of sets the tone for the band and tells you, what they're all about, what the band is about. So we're gonna listen to some Bad Company, and then when we come back, we're gonna do some stick style, which is gonna make us chuckle as usual. And then we're gonna get into some real interesting stuff. So here's Bad Company, and we'll catch you on the other side.
Company, always on the run. Destiny is a rising sun. Oh, I was born, 6 gun in my hand. Behind a gun, I make my final stand. Hey, it's why they call me Bad Company, and I can't deny Bad Company till the day I die. Till the day I die. Till the day I die. Rebel souls, deserters we are called. Chose a gun and threw away the sword. Now these towns, they all know our name. 6 gun sound is our claim to fame. I can hear them say, Bad Company, and I won't deny. Bad Company, till the day I die. Yeah.
the slow fade. Bad Company from Bad Company on the album Bad Company.
Bad company.
Great track. It's a great track. Listen to the bonus track as well. I think everybody will like it if you like, especially if you like that song. You're gonna like that one. Good stuff. Can't even complain. I'm glad they get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's needed.
Finally.
That's needed.
Yeah.
All right. So first up, let's see what we're drinking today. I am going with my summer favorite. This, unless I find something else, man. Oh, the Stella Artois. I'm going with the Modelo. Cheers to you. Nice. It is. It's so good.
It's good.
All right, let's get into Six Style.
Gaming.
Shake your damn head all you want. We're both going to have complaints. First up, Sony's Games for May. Now, hold on, people. Hold on. Going to have Ark Survival, Ascending, Balatro, which is a deck building card game that I don't understand. A couple of people at work play it. I just don't get it. And then you're going to have the third and final game will be Warhammer 4000 Bolt Gun. Thank you for the 90s shooter, buddy. Like, come on. It's not even like the current war. Like, oh, Sony, why do you? And then to add insult to injury, they're going to remove 22 games next month.
Yeah.
I wish I understood what this company was thinking. I just don't. And like we said before, the Xbox games that are now on PlayStation are doing better than some PlayStation games.
That's not a surprise to me.
No, not at all. I have not ventured into PlayStation's gears yet. I don't even know if it's on.
I wonder
there.
what the pay schedule back to Microsoft is on all that.
It's got to be good. It's got to be good.
Is it? I mean, are they getting like a penny for every hour that someone's on a? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
How are they even doing that?
I-
Like, it's
I'm a
gonna.
s-
I honestly could see Sony at some point going, "We don't want your games anymore. We can't afford it."
Yeah, because they're outselling their games. So it's just. But you look at the flip side. Look at the Xbox games for May. Anno 1800, Call of Duty Modern
We're done with
Warfare.
Sony's already.
Yeah, there's 3. You got Anno 1800, which is apparently a good game. I tried it a couple of times. It wasn't for me, but it's a good game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and I believe you've said in the past that this was the best Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
It was my favorite multiplayer setup.
Okay.
It was the one where if you got 25 kills without dying, you could set off a nuke.
Oh yes.
So even
was
if
fun.
you were behind, you could win the match. If you had one person, and we used to do that all the time. Our
Yes.
clan, we would sit back and just let one guy collect the kills, and we'd run around. Maybe kill somebody, maybe not. But we just run around and die,
Yep.
and then get to 25 and
Yeah.
really, really make the other team mad.
Dredge, Revenge of the Savage Planet, 2AT, don't even know what that is. Spray Paint Simulator, which cracks me up. And of course, this month we'll get for free people on Game Pass. You're going to get Doom: The Dark Ages. That alone is worth the price of a Game Pass. Even one of the basic Game Passes, not even Ultimate. But the fact that we have Ultimate, I'm most likely going to be able to play it on the PC and on the Xbox. There's no bad part here. There's more little indie ones that are coming out throughout the month, but those were the big ones. And Doom: Dark Ages alone, that's going to be great. And again, comparing the two consoles, as much as I love the PlayStation, I'm sorry, but Xbox is coming through.
That's just the initial list that's available now, right?
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow, there's going to be even more coming over the course of the month. I mean,
and by the way, may the 4th be with you.
okay, nerd.
Yeah, every year. Speaking of consoles, the
May
Xbox.
The 4th be with you too. Now we can be friends for another year.
The unfortunate news about the Xbox, though, as much as they're doing well and they give us all the games that we want, they're going to be increasing their prices, thanks to the tariffs, most likely, by around 27%, which actually aligns with some of the tariffs that our administration's putting up. So,
Yeah, they're absolutely. I mean, everybody and their brother right now is gonna, whether they're affected by tariffs or not, they're gonna jump on those numbers and hike their prices. I mean, let's be real, folks.
yeah.
There ain't no tariffs on Microsoft games. It's all digital. Nothing's
Yeah.
getting shipped over. Nothing's getting inspected by customs. Nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so.
So the 27% increase is big, and it's across the board. For instance, the Series S, the 512 version, the 512 gig version is going to go from $300 to $380. The Series X is going to go from $500 to $600. And let me tell you, I am glad that I got that Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Edition that we showed on Stick Style.
Yeah.
It's not only beautiful, but it's 2 terabytes built in, which is nice. That's going to go up to $730. That's more than a PlayStation 5 Pro, which I had somebody at work ask me about the PlayStation Pro, and I was like, look, you're never going to, all the numbers can add up all day long that it's a more powerful unit and better. When are you going to notice it? We've said the same thing about 4K. We've said the same thing about HDR. Like, unless you're an extreme connoisseur and you have, look, let's face it, if you're playing Game Pass Ultimate on your PC, sure, some of you have a 32-inch monitor that's good for 4K. You spent $1,000 on it. Kudos to you. Most of us don't. Even here in the studio, I have 327 inches. 327.
I mean, even if
monitor.
you've spent the money to get those things, very few people are going to know what the difference is that they're even looking at anyway.
Right. Right. It was like when we went from well, aging myself, 720i and 1080p, progressive scan and interlaced. Like, you have to really be a connoisseur to tell the difference back then. Even back then. And nowadays, like, I play on 1080. I play on 1080 and it's perfectly fine for me. Upstairs, I played on 4K. Great. It looks phenomenal. Wonderful. Once you get immersed into a game, does it really matter at that point? It doesn't. Just enjoy the game. And that's not only the price increases.
That's what I play on right there.
Yeah, that little tiny monitor back there. But it gets the job done because you're immersed in it. You do.
Yeah, and I still slay because it's right there. I don't have to do. I'm not looking around. I'm not having to sit way back. I'm
not on
looking
an
left
angle.
and right. I'm
Don't
not
have a glare.
I'm just right there. I'm focused on it. I can see the entire screen without moving my eyes.
Yeah.
And
so the controllers are going to go from $60 to $65. The Elite controller is going to go from $130 to $150. And those increases are mostly in the US. The UK is only getting a 4% increase on Microsoft products. Microsoft has also said that by the holidays, expect to see their first party games are going to go up to $80, which I think is just absolutely outrageous for a game. It really is. And again, it makes you wonder. So we've known for decades. We
called it.
Well,
last week or 2 weeks ago, we said, get ready. It'll be $80 for games before too long.
Yeah.
Boom.
But when you look at it, we've said on the show before that people don't realize, I don't think people realize, that both companies, Sony and Microsoft, they lose a boatload of money on their consoles. They do. They lose money on their consoles. Their money is made up in subscription services and back-end stuff. So if you're having your
transactions in games, I mean, it's
if you're on if you're dealing with a game that's going to be digital, it shouldn't be $80. It's just the transfer, like Freeman was saying earlier. It's just the transfer of information. And I don't think $80 is going to. Now, we would pay,
especially when you don't own it.
Yeah, they can remove it at
Don't
any
need
time.
to get me started on that one.
But we've talked about on the show before that the days of the $40, $50, $60 games are because of the media that you're getting, the packaging, the box, the disc, the distribution, all that. You don't have that anymore. So why charge $80? I don't see it. And they got to be losing their shirt with Microsoft Game Pass Ultimate. They have to be losing their shirt, even if Ultimate
I'm okay
is.
with that.
But what is Ultimate?
I don't care if they're losing money.
No, but
we talked about that. We said it's what, $20 a month, right? So it's $240 a year. So if you in the course of a year, if you download 3 games,
Yeah.
and play them and get your enjoyment out of them, you've made your money
Yeah.
off the Ultimate Pass. There's no reason
Wreckfest,
not to get it.
Wreckfest, Gears, Forza.
Dude,
Those are just the top.
just this year, what have we done just this year?
We've done Wreckfest 1
Indy?
and 2, Indiana Jones.
No, I'm talking
Gears.
about not games that we've had for a while. I'm talking about if this year we were
Yeah.
to go buy 3 games at $80 a pop, right?
Yeah.
We've done Indy already. We've
Yep.
done
Indiana
Doom
Jones.
Eternal.
Yep.
What else? I mean, I know there's other stuff that we've tried.
I know there's a third one.
Not that they were $80 games, but it's, we're not even halfway through the year. So we got another Doom coming this week.
Yeah.
Right? That's 3 games right there that we're going to have made our money. So
Yeah. And I would expect Sony to be announcing the same type of upgrades to your wallet in the coming weeks. I'm sure of it. And now let's talk about something a little bit more fun.
All I can say is Sony's user interface, their UI must just be so just like people just literally love to sit and just stare at it.
It is really good.
Because I
Maybe not
can't
stare at it,
understand paying the amount of money for a Sony system for gaming that they charge. Not when you've got Xbox absolutely crushing it with the games they offer on a regular basis.
Oh yeah, they're crushing it. 100%.
I mean, day one. Black Ops 3 was day one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, or 3, Black Ops 6,
Yeah,
day
yeah.
one. All these day one big games that if you're an Ultimate Pass holder, I mean,
The free.
it's unreal.
Yeah, it really is. It's a good time to be a gamer right now. And the fact that you can switch over between your console in the living room and wherever you have your computer system set up and you can do same games, almost all the same games on Ultimate, that's something. But speaking of weird games, let's talk a little bit about World of Tanks, one of our favorite games to talk about that are constantly dropping governmental classified information. Never gets old. Well, they're in a little bit of hot water now. So World of Tanks is in the news again. This time, maybe not so good. Russia's going to seize all assets of Leicester Gaming and wargaming.net. So this is a big deal. In a press release,
They're going to attempt to.
it's Russia. They're going to. It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Wargaming, but here's the thing. Wargaming doesn't reside in Russia.
It'll shut it down.
And the whole reason that Leicester Games exists is because Wargaming said, we're not going to allow y'all to play our game anymore because of what y'all have done by invading Ukraine. I'm not trying to get political on any of this. I'm just
Understood.
spitting facts.
So
Leicester comes along and basically they work out some kind of behind the scenes deal with Wargaming to still be for people in Russia to still be able to do World of Tanks, but it's not actually in the World of Tanks universe, but it's Russia exclusive, but
it's there.
It's
Russia,
so, I mean, unless Russia's planning to invade wherever Wargaming's headquarters are, I don't know how they get them.
would not surprise me. Russia does want to collect 100% of Leicester's shares as state revenue due to Russia saying that they are acting as extremists. How you get extremists, I don't know out of this. How Russia is this? How Russia is this? Their reasoning is that the developers are a front for underground activities. What? Underground activities? Look, their biggest problem is gamers being super high strung that are releasing because they get into an argument in game. They're releasing classified documents. That's the problem. And if you look into the background of Leicester, it's like they have charity events for raising money for ambulances. Now the problem is that those ambulances are for Ukraine, so that's probably where they're getting the panties in a bunch. But still, the problem still exists that you're trying to get 100% of it, which is messed up. And now, finally, this week, we're going to touch upon what?
Okay. All right. So Wargaming was headquartered in Minsk, which is in
Oh,
Belarus.
yeah.
They have since moved their headquarters from Belarus to Cyprus.
Which is in?
Cyprus is an island country in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, good luck. It's an independent
So what are you going to do,
sovereign
Russia?
nation. Yeah, it's an
That
independent.
and that they moved a lot of their offices. Also, their official headquarters is in Nicosia, Cyprus, but they've also put satellite headquarters in Austin, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, and Emeryville in the United States, which I don't even know where Emeryville is. But so good luck getting a hold of Wargaming, Russia.
Yeah, not gonna happen. Okay, so finally this week, and in tribute to the 4th of May being Star Wars Day, Fortnite Star Wars has begun. Now there is few times in the year. In fact, one of my children came into the studio one time when I was playing Fortnite recently, warming up for this month, and they were like, "Can I look at your skins?" I was like, "Sure." They're like, "Holy crap!" I was like, "What?" They're like, "You have every Star Wars skin." I'm like, "I do." Because I will play the month of May. You can guarantee I'll be playing Fortnite because I love Star Wars and I want all the stuff. You tell from behind me. I love Star Wars and I want all the skins. So I gotta say though, this time around it's not as good as some of the past years.
That. I'm gonna have to freaking update Fortnite on my Xbox.
Well, listen to what I have to say first though, because you might not want to. Not to mention since we have Doom coming out soon, so that's gonna take a lot of our time.
No, I'm not going to deny you your Star Wars Fortnite time.
You're
All
not.
the things we do for those that are less fortunate.
Oh, stop. I got to say though, it's not as good as some of the past years. It's not. Again, the whole game and menu system has gotten so big and diverse, it's hard to even maneuver around that damn thing. And what's really frustrating is that it's not straightforward like it used to be. For instance, you used to be able to jump on and look at all the requests. Now you have a story quest, which gives you spots to drop in for your story quest, but nothing really more than that. Until you get down on the ground, and then you kind of look at your map and go, "Oh, I got to head in that direction to I don't know, check on this particular thing."
Dude, and I'll go ahead and say it. It's not just Fortnite, it's other games as well. I have no idea when gaming turned into this convoluted. It's more about the skin of your avatar and the
Microtransactions.
paint job on your gun and all this other crap that has nothing to do with the actual gameplay.
Who's going to see the tassel hanging off your M16?
It's like 60% of games now have nothing to do with actually being in the game playing.
Right.
It
I don't
drives
disagree with you.
me nuts.
And
I just want to sit down, load into a game, and play. Thank you, Doom.
but at the same time, how long did it take us to kind of figure out Doom's multiplayer? Like it took us a few minutes to figure that out. We're not stupid. So there's going to be people that are going to either wait. There's going to be people that are either going to talk to me personally or send us texts or emails at bgfgonline@gmail.com. And they're going to say things like, "Oh, that's because you guys are just old heads." That's not the reason. We're seasoned gamers. Unlike most of the other people that start playing when they're older, we're seasoned. We were there from the jump. We were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
We've been on these consoles and these games since they launched.
I mean, I'll throw it out there, and we still have to have the competition with the boy. You pick the game. You give me a little bit of time to play it,
Right.
and I will beat you at it. I don't care what kind of game it is.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's driving, first-person shooter, puzzling, whatever. You pick the game. You let me get my head wrapped around how it works. I'll play you. I will beat you.
I don't have an argument there. I'm with you.
I don't need all the fancy whatever or another that people tend to go gaga over. I mean, it's literally not necessary.
It's
That's
not.
like people used to ask my in Call of Duty when I was back in that all the time. What's your loadout? What are you running? I'm like, the same thing I've been running since day one.
Right.
I'm running this gun, I'm running these perks, and that's it. That's all I've ever used. Well, there's no way. You must be hacking. No.
It's not hacking. Like I don't even
It's called game theory. You figure out how your opponent operates and you develop a strategy to shut it down. It's not that complicated, people.
Now I will say I will toot my own horn in Fortnite that I am in top 10 every single game. The times that I'm not in top 10, and if you look at Stick Style on YouTube, you'll
And the
see
times that he's not in top 10, it's usually because I'm there and we're squatted up and he's having to carry me. I'll give him that.
most of the
'Cause I
time
don't like Fortnite.
if you sit there and you look at the videos that I've posted of highlights, I'll post highlights of me failing because I come across somebody in the bottom 50 that's just like me and Fremo. So then it's actually a firefight. All those other times, it's either somebody with a shitty connection, I can see them lagging, and I just stand there and kind of shoot them, or they just have no strategy at all. Like they're jumping up and down constantly. It's like, I'm just waiting for you to bounce down. When you're in the air, you can't move, so I'm just going to shoot you when you're in the air.
Yeah.
Like there's strategy that we play because we've been playing so long. And it's like, it's not, and going back to the Fortnite thing, you're doing these story quests, and then that translates to alignment, either light or dark side, depending on the quests. So it's like instead of just grinding like make 5 kills with a blaster rifle, make 5 kills with a lightsaber. It's just this weird like I gotta constantly grind shit and try to find it on the map. And it's not as fun as it used to be. I will admit that there is a cool watch along portion that allows you to watch the first 2 episodes of the upcoming cartoon Star Wars Underground, which was really good. I watched that, but I didn't get anything substantial from spending an hour and a half watching it. I just got a check mark that said it was complete. Maybe that adds up to something later. I don't know. But it was kind of
So-
shitty. I should have what?
Well, like you were talking about, you were just waiting for someone to be in the air because they can't move left and right at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
I jumped in some Black Ops 6 the other day.
Yeah.
And the latest thing in there is you can do like this slide thing, right?
Okay.
Like you can be running and then you slide past a corner.
Yeah.
Guess what I did?
Not
I
slide.
just started shooting at knee height. That was it. My aim was at knee height.
Yeah.
So for the people that didn't slide, I took their legs out from them. The people that did slide, I was getting headshots.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's it. That's literally the only thing I had to change.
Yeah.
And then, once I figured out that 90% of the people are just going to slide around, okay, I'm just going to alter where I'm aiming.
Right.
And guess what? I went from negative KD to positive KD in the course of a match.
Oh, in Fortnite, like most other games right now, the battle pass is where all the meat is on it to unlock a lot of the skins and the cool stuff like Emperor Palpatine and such. And of course, that's going to cost you the purchase of the battle pass. You'll get Poe Dameron, his X-Wing, Poe's emotes, contrails, wraps, an absolutely stupid looking Chewbacca, which makes no sense. And of course, the big one's Palpatine. And then you get Palpatine's emote, which is the lightning, contrails, his cane. You get a gun wrap. But then there's others
Is this the Chewbacca skin
is it
that
does
I'm
it
looking at here
look-
on this link? The link that you have in the show notes.
Most
the
likely.
first picture. It looks like a teenage female Chewbacca.
correct. It's stupid. But then there's others that unlock that are going to unlock mid-month, like General Grievous, and then there's a hidden bonus reward, which most likely is where Darth Jar Jar is going to be. Not super happy about Darth Jar Jar, but I'll end up getting that because it's another skin. But we're gonna have to wait and see what those unlocked behind the paywall right now are. There will be Star Wars weapons.
Are you talking about the blasphemous Disney version of Star Wars with all these words that I don't recognize? Is that
Correct. You
Okay.
just have to just listen. There's going to be Star Wars weapons all over the map instead of the traditional weapons. That includes lightsabers. There's also going to be events where you can dogfight in Star Wars fighters, which I've already done once, which was super fun. Like the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter. You're going to have a bleed over into the Fortnite Lego stuff. Fortnite, what the hell is that racing game that you play soccer with? What's that thing called?
Rocket League.
Rocket League. There are going to be a lot of flow doors for that. And then on the 29th, they'll unlock, and that's the end of the month, they'll unlock the ability to pilot a Star Destroyer. It's going to be similar to when they did the Godzilla event. Now, I did play the Godzilla event because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. And I did the Godzilla event, and I was able to play as Godzilla one time. And let me tell you about fun. Because people can shoot at you all day. It's really not going to take a whole lot of damage.
May
But you're
22nd, Mandalorian jetpack.
There's a lot of good stuff, man. There's a lot of good stuff in this one. But it's all time consuming and it's all later on. So you kind of got to jump in, get it going already. But what I was saying was with the Godzilla, when I was able to play as Godzilla, it was super fun because you're this giant guy just stepping on everybody and spitting fire. It was just so much fun. And you know, playing Gojira was a blast. So playing as a Death Star or a Star Destroyer is going to be equally fun. I'm sure you can just target stuff on the planet and get massive kills like you usually do. All right, that's it for gaming this week. Let's take a swig of beer and get into our final segment because this is where it's going to be a little interesting. So first up, one of the things we have to touch on is the massive power outages across Europe. Spain, Portugal, and parts of France. Talking about the
Freaking
capital city.
Bitcoin miners.
We're talking about capital cities, Madrid, Lisboa. They had no electricity and internet, as well as Seville, Barcelona, and Valencia. Some are saying that it was extreme temperature variations, while others state that it was still being investigated. No one is on the same page here. Some are saying it might take a full week to restore, and others are saying 10 hours. So it crippled airports and train systems. They've been disabled. This is a good sign of how important the electrical grid is to our society in any country. It's been reported that the grid experienced anomalous oscillations in temperatures. Sounds a lot to me like a threat actor got involved in their grid system. That's what it sounds like to me. Doesn't sound like there was, overheating or a bad piece of code. This sounds like it was an attempted cyber attack, just as a demonstration, a test,
And
if you
just
will.
cascaded.
Correct. And it cascaded
My
everywhere.
biggest concern out of this is who was in the middle of gaming and then got banned for rage quitting.
Oh, Call of Duty. Most of the people in Madrid, probably. This led to fluctuations in the voltage across the system, which ended up shutting the system down.
How do you fight that, right? I mean, you have no internet. You can't tell them what's going on.
No, and as for jumping back on and then making a complaint, we've seen it before. I mean, my son, my oldest boy, still can't play. Well, he just ended up stopping to play with playing on that name because Microsoft didn't believe that he was old enough to play Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's 18. They're like, send us a copy of your license and his social security card. I'm like, you are out of your mind that I'm sending those through the mail of all things. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm like, he'll make another account. So I'm still thinking that this is a test, a possible test of, dare I say, a proof of concept for sabotaging an electrical grid. I mean, really, it seems like that.
It was brutal. I mean, it started basically on the west end of Europe. Spain was hit the worst, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it trickled all the way into France, Germany. I mean,
Yeah.
not good. Not good.
No, not at all.
All you people that don't know how to live without electricity, not good.
There is hope, though, my friend. There is hope, and that
Oh, yeah.
hope lies in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I believe this is a little
How
close
is
to your heart.
I mean, other than the fact that I'm here and I'll keep things going. Outside of that,
So tell me a little bit about, because I don't think people realize that you get your internet from the electrical company.
well, I don't.
Oh, I thought you did.
No.
At the new place, you can't.
Yeah, the new place I'm at is so
Oh.
remote that I don't have that option. I may one day, but
Yeah.
not currently.
But I think it's a
I had
mystery
to
to.
pay someone else a buttload of money to get fiber in here.
I think it's important to let our listeners know because the Northeast, I can tell you, the Northeast doesn't understand this concept at all. We have usually two cable
Yeah.
providers to choose
So we
from.
have a couple different electric co-ops in this area.
Okay.
The bigger one being the one that is based in Chattanooga. So that metropolitan area, they're pretty big.
Yeah.
And they were awarded years ago a contract to run fiber to anyone that they provided electricity to.
Okay.
So that's how they got started. So that's why Chattanooga became the first gig city
Yeah.
in the world. And they are now, that same company has now partnered with IonQ to start doing a quantum network
Woohoo.
in Chattanooga.
That's quantum computing as a major part of the infrastructure, correct?
Correct.
So what does that mean
So
for
you're
Tennessee
talking
overall?
instantaneous like gig transfers,
Going to be crazy.
multiple gig transfers, like basically instantaneous. You make a
So,
change here, it shows up here.
so when I was reading the article, the first top of the article was just, I didn't get any of it. I was like, I hope that Fremo understands this is way better than I do because I don't get it. But what I did glean from it, from there was the pieces that we can bring to. I mean, granted, if you're listening to the show, click on the show notes and read the article and see if you understand it better than I do. But some of the key points is like cybersecurity, like Fremo was saying, quantum cryptography, tamper-proof data transmission, and quantum-resistant algorithms and encryption. Now, what Fremo was saying earlier was very much the tamper-proof data transmission. There's no noise. So even when I worked in cable, you still had noise on the line, just natural noise. Fiber takes away a lot of that noise, but there's still a delay in fiber, so to speak, because it has to go through different junctions. Those junctions have to reinterpret, interpolate,
Interpolate.
interpolate the different data and send it back down the line. Now, granted, it takes nanoseconds, but when you stack those nanoseconds up from different exchanges, data points, directional couplers, that takes time. This takes away all that time because the quantum mechanics of it are assessing what that's going to be, which brings us into the next piece, which is grid optimization. Because they're so quick, they can improve load balancing for the grid as well as optimizing the entire electrical system like they've never been able to do before.
Yep.
This is big. This is really big, people. Even predicting outages. They have route optimization. So I can tell you that Cox Cable was a test bed for most of the country here in Rhode Island because we're so small. And what they developed 25 years ago was a ring and ring technology with fiber, where in most rural areas, if that pole gets hit, everybody past that pole are screwed until they can use another directional coupler to resend the lines. With fiber's ring and ring technology, as soon as it feels a break in that ring, we just turn on another set of rings to ring it back out. Think of it like the best way I ever heard it explained was think about the logo for the Olympics, how it's a ring within a ring within a ring.
Yeah.
Same concept. You take out one of those rings, there's still a connection to the other one.
Yeah.
So this is going to take that to a whole nother level with quantum technology. They can analyze all the routes at the same time and choose the best one, not just the default one. It's going to choose it for you or for the company. Predictive maintenance is another big thing. Working for the cable company, I can appreciate this one because you can't really predict what line's going to go down or what line is weak or what line, I don't know, a bird shit on and clogged up the filter, the air filter for the
Right.
which has happened where birds and animals have gotten into the. If you look at your telephone poles and you see a large green box, that's a power supply that powers that directional coupler above it or the bridge ramp above it. For the most part, sometimes they don't even still use it, but they're still out there. And what we would find is a lot of times a bird or some other animal would sneak in there, get in there, and until they get electrocuted, they would use that for whatever they
or
could.
wasp build a nest
Oh
up in there,
yes,
dirt
yes,
daubers.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
all of that stuff. Yep.
First rule cable people learn: Tap whatever you can. Yep. Take your long stick and tap the thing from the ground. Do whatever you can to make sure because they are everywhere. But predictive maintenance is a great idea. Um, Quantum technology can improve the predictability and optimize the maintenance schedules, focusing on weak points in the system. This is awesome. So you take this and combine it with the security that quantum computing is going to give you. This is a great way that the power grid might not be able to be compromised.
Yeah. I mean, think about a traditional network, even with fiber, right? You're
Yeah.
sending information in a linear path.
Correct.
So if anybody gains access to that path, they can divert what you're
Reroute
sending,
yeah.
reroute it, capture it,
Yep.
unencrypt it, do what they want with it.
Correct.
With quantum, that goes away. It's here, and then you change here, and it's changed here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
You're not
ridiculous.
intercepting anything.
And they're going to optimize energy resources because
Yeah.
quantum technology can make better predictions. It can then use that to better utilize unpredictable power sources or like wind, solar, making things more efficient. So during the day, it can rely mostly on solar power. And then when the sun goes down or there's overcast, it can just switch to wind. Maybe there's no wind that day. They can switch to another source. So it's very, very efficient because it's doing it so quickly. But I'm wondering if AI is going to be involved in this at all, or if it's just going to be pure mechanics of quantum computing. Because the pure mechanics of quantum computing can do this without AI's help, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I know a couple guys down there at the old EPB. I'll give them a shout, see if I can get some info.
Yeah, outside of
If
that, this
anybody,
could be
if anybody wants an update, I'm not gonna waste our time going through some technical stuff.
yeah.
But if somebody has questions, send it to us. I'll find some answers.
Outside of that, I think this is really what we need for the future. But a couple of little add-on pieces. In the past 2 years, electricity demand forecasts have risen dramatically, a sharp reversal from nearly 2 decades of little to no electricity growth. Now it's huge. Why, you may ask? You don't have to think too hard. Electric cars, number one. Number two, the Internet of Things. Those all require power that drains on your system. Um, Unfortunately, the hotter it gets in the summertime now, more air conditioners. I recently purchased a windmill air conditioner last year. We're going to be replacing all of them in the house because the energy that we were using on a 10,000 BTU air conditioner was huge.
Yeah.
Huge electrical cost, and it was loud AF. We have the TV next to the window that we use, and the TV's cranked way up. With a windmill air conditioner, which I highly recommend, it's whisper quiet, and it takes not a lot of energy because it uses a different type of cooling system inside of it. Look it up. It's pretty interesting. So the fact that we're skyrocketing with electrical use, and most of that is really from electrical vehicles. And we knew this was going to happen. But the fact that we can get something like quantum mechanics in there and quantum technology to be able to make this a little bit more seamless and save some money here and there, I think that's the best way. The cheapest and cleanest way to meet most of the skyrocketing demand is plugging in new solar, wind, and battery projects into the grid, which our current administration seems to be dragging their feet on. It's also the only way to address the growth without undermining emissions goals
Well,
of states.
the to bypass any whatever from either political party side or however you feel about that, the best thing you can do is invest in your own electrical grid. Put in your own solar, your own wind, whatever. Spend the money to get to get it professionally installed with battery backup and all that, so that you could give a rip if somebody hits a power pole, someone attacks the power grid, and it goes down. Your house is still running.
Mhm.
You may
Yeah.
not have everything going, but you can run your fridge. If you have an electric stove, you can run that. You can run your clothes washer. You may have to, juggle depending on how much of a system you put in place. You may have to
Right.
juggle. We can't run the microwave if we've got the clothes washer running, whatever, but that's not really that big of a deal. You start your clothes at night and get up in the morning and they're ready to go. But self-reliance will alleviate so many problems that are coming, folks. It's coming.
I can't.
Look at what happened in Europe with their electrical system. It started in Spain and it just ended up cascading and crippling their interconnected networks. Don't for a minute think because you live in this state that another state's electrical problems won't cause you issues, because it will. They're all interconnected.
Yep, and it'll drain on the system. And I lived in the early years of my marriage. We lived in an apartment that had a Generac power supply on the side of the house, a large one, and it was delightful. I mean, we had lost power for all of 30 seconds, and everything came back up. In fact, some things that we
Yeah.
had didn't even reset the clock; it just came back on. It was a
Yeah.
very, very quick interruption. And I mean, that's another good source.
Yeah. And it costs a little bit of money to do, but do it.
Yeah. Another big problem that they're having with the
Scale back
electrical.
the vacation a little bit this year,
Yeah. Another another big problem they're saying is the tech firms that are trying to build data centers per mandate of the administration. Well, that's great, but again, that takes a lot of power. Now, when I go to sleep at night, I try to watch like a documentary or something to put myself to sleep if I can't fall right asleep. One of the ones I watched the other day was uh
See,
Super
that's dangerous
Foundries.
because if you come across a really good documentary, it makes you stay up because you want to watch it.
Ironically, this one did that because
Yeah.
I was at a tail end of one when I shut it off to go to sleep. So I finished that one up, and the next one, this was Super Factories, I think it was called, and it finished up one with like Hyundai or something like that, where it was a lot of autonomous robots that were doing different things. The next one was for Elon's. I can't remember what the stupid name of it is. It is kind of a stupid name. It's like Super One or something like that.
Yeah.
But his factory is impressive. It's a huge factory, first of all. Second of all, they have a water tank outside of the building, which is huge, but it's buried 3/4 underground. So it stays cool. That's what pumps in for the fresh water, and then it gets recycled. The entire building is covered with solar panels, which also subsidizes the energy. And then there's robots everywhere. Robots everywhere
Yeah.
that are constantly recycling the energy as they're moving. So it's super, super impressive that they do that. And again, we make fun of Elon often, but this factory is the way that most factories should be built right now. 110%. Now let's talk about the security portion of it. The security portion of it, and this is a topic. What the hell is my dog yelling about? Um, this is a topic that makes the news, then quietly gets brushed under the rug. Make no mistake, the DOJ, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of Energy are all very concerned about this. 70% of transmission lines are at least 30 years old right now.
Yeah.
I can tell you from climbing those poles, they're not wrong. I've gone into people's homes that have never had a problem with their cable that are 30 years old. Like this stuff is brittle, like it's not working. And 60% of the circuit breakers on our electrical systems, even on the poles, are more than 35 years old.
Yeah.
This infrastructure is crumbling around us. And because the
You want to
infrastructure,
you want to make money, figure out how to do something that is associated with rebuilding infrastructure, whether it be electrical, whether it be plumbing,
oh yeah,
whatever,
you'll make bank.
because you'll be golden
Yeah.
in a
So
heartbeat.
because the infrastructure is so poor,
Welding, you
like
learn welding right now, you're going to make some serious money in the near future.
I do enjoy welding. Maybe I should get a certificate on that. I do enjoy welding, making my nickels. But because the infrastructure is so poor, like Freeman was saying earlier, you can have a cascading failure, like what happened over in Europe. Then you also have the state actors that are trying to constantly get into the system. And let's not forget the stuff that you think is a myth, like EMPs, electromagnetic pulses, or hacktivists that just simply hack into a building, for lack of a better term, to crush it, to shut everything off, or to blow something up just to prove a point that we should not have electricity or some weird shit that these people do. But all of this stuff is a problem, and it can be easily fixed. Like your master lock on the building that's going to your master lock on the what the hell? Master lock on your building that's going to fix everything is not going to fix everything. Not even a little. So again, we've seen some of this already just in Texas. In Texas when they had that power outage last winter.
Yeah.
That crushed them. And everything that the Department of Energy proposed last year seems like it's just preparing and never taking any action on it. They're talking about it. Probably because of the current administration where they can't get anything going. And unfortunately, many of the suggestions are leaning heavy on AI, which is not the answer. Not. Here's an idea. How about taking much of the system off the internet? You can't be hacked if you're not on the internet. And you really don't need to be technically on the internet to create good electrical services for people, good infrastructure. You don't have to. NORAD's not on the open internet, and that's essential for government agencies. You know? So there's two ideas. Again, we here at BGFG fix shit. Okay? We give you
That's our goal,
solutions
to make it better.
to make it better. But that's all I really have about any of this stuff. I just think we pointed out a lot of things that can be fixed, that should be fixed, and a lot of things that shouldn't be used, like AI.
Well, again, self-reliance is the only way you're going to make it through. The government does not care. I don't care who's sitting in the office. I don't care which party's in control. The government does not care. The government exists for the government's sake at this point. It is no longer
it really
for the
does.
people.
It really is. I got to agree with you. All right. Do you have anything else this week?
Nope.
All right, then. That's it for this week. Tense down. Show's over.
Whoop, whoop.
So you can find more of this garbage at bgfgonline.com. You can also send us an email with your questions or suggestions at bgfgshow@gmail.com. Find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podchaser, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.